Hi, I'm Conny, and this is From Chaos to Peace with Conny, where I explore, sometimes solo and often with a guest, how a few minutes a day can keep the chaos away. And with chaos, I'm talking about the physical, digital, social, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual clutter that can accumulate in our life. Well, hello, my friend. Welcome back to the podcast. How are you doing? Thank you so much for allowing me back into your ears. And if this is your very first time here, a very, very warm welcome to you too. I'm so honored that you're checking out my podcast. This is episode number 133 of the From Chaos to Peace podcast, where a few minutes a day keep the chaos away and where you learn how clutter is so much more than you think. And today I want to talk about why a junk drawer might be a good thing in your home and office. Yep, here I said it. I give you permission to have a junk drawer. Not that you need my permission, of course, but here I go on a little bit of a rant. I came across an article recently titled 5 Steps to Organize Your Junk Drawer. And while there is absolutely nothing wrong with the article and the tips they shared on how to clean out and organize a junk drawer are actually really helpful or might be helpful, for me, it kind of goes along with all the organizing tips, for example, on Instagram or in magazines, where they go way beyond clearing clutter and organizing things. And for example, line up the items like soldiers, or take noodles or other dry food out of their packaging and put them into different containers, and then they possibly label the container with fancy labels and then line everything up in the cupboard or the pantry. And then they call this organizing. This has nothing to do with clutter clearing. And in my eyes, it also has nothing to do with organizing. It's more focusing on looks and design and on the outside rather than practicality and on the insides and why we have clutter and why clutter actually accumulates. So clearing clutter is not about trying to be obsessively perfect and make everything look Insta-worthy. That is, in my eyes, the other extreme and not helpful if you need to declutter and get organized. For some people, it could be an inspiration and motivating. But from my experience, for most people, it leads to even more procrastination. Hear me when I say you don't have to create an Insta-worthy home or office to be clutter-free and organized. If you enjoy looking at noodles in special containers lined up in your pantry, then by all means take the time, energy, and effort to do that. But for the rest of us, let's give ourselves permission to not do that. As I say in episode 7, called What Does It Mean to Live Clutter-Free? My idea of a clutter-free home is that we find the right balance for our life. Not so many things that we feel overwhelmed, weighed down, and stuck. And also not so few things that we can't do what we want to do and need to do in our life and business. Living a clutter-free life is getting really clear on what we love in our life and home and why, and then prioritizing them, keeping them clean and fixed, and creating the space for them so those treasured items can shine and are ready to be used and appreciated. And because of that, my noodles and dry food is very happy in the original packaging in my pantry and without fancy labels, and everything is still clutter-free and organized, and yours can be too. Okay, back to the junk drawer. As I said, I give you permission, and not that you need my permission, but I give you permission to have a junk drawer without organizers in it, because in our busy lives, we might need the relief that a junk drawer can offer, where we can just open the drawer, throw in all kinds of little odds and bits, and then close the drawer again, and it's out of sight, out of mind, temporarily at least. Now, what I don't agree with is a junk room. Just that you know, a room in your home, or often it's the garage or the basement, that you just put all the stuff you don't know what to do with. In short, you don't want to make a decision. Remember, clutter is unmade decisions. That's creating, having, and keeping clutter when you have a junk room. And that's not what I'm talking about here. I am talking about a designated drawer where little bits and pieces can go, or where things can live that we only need to keep for a limited time and then we can let go of them, or where small things can go so our surfaces look clean. Yes, have a junk drawer, and it doesn't have to be nice looking inside either. And it doesn't have to have organizers, as I said already. But there is what I recommend if you have a junk drawer. It's better that it's not a huge, big, deep drawer that you can just fill up with a lot of stuff. You want to pick a smaller or medium drawer so that it has only a limited space, and when it's full, you have to do something about it. Make sure it's a drawer and not an open bowl or a basket or anything like that. You see it sometimes in movies, and I see it in my clients' homes. In the entrance, a big bowl, maybe a glass bowl or a ceramic bowl, where they throw in the keys, wallets, and all kinds of bits and pieces they have in their pockets and purses. The problem is, it's visual clutter and being in the entryway, the first thing you see when you come into your home. So not ideal, rather stressful. Also, in an open bowl, it will get very dusty and dirty, and that is one of the health risks of clutter, the dust. If you have a bowl for keys, only put keys in there and clean it out on a regular basis. I find a key rack better for keys than having them in an open bowl, but it's up to you, of course. If you want to have a junk drawer in the entrance, make sure it's a drawer that you can close and no dust gets into it and no visual clutter is created. Next, allow yourself only one junk drawer, and ideally be intentional where you have it. As I just mentioned, a lot of people have it in the entrance. That might be the perfect location for you, but it depends on how you function and how you tick. Because for some people, the perfect spot is in the kitchen, or it might be in a hallway. You just need to figure out, for example, where are some hot spots that accumulate, and maybe that is a good spot for a junk drawer. When I work with my clients, that's one thing that we evaluate and figure out where the best spot is for their junk drawer. So, as I said, only allow yourself one junk drawer, but there might be an exception to this. If you live in a really big house on several floors, then maybe it turns out that you need a second junk drawer upstairs somewhere. And since a lot of us now work from home, it makes sense to have a junk drawer in your office. The next thing is make sure you're not just throwing things into this drawer that would have a home. One of the concepts of living clutter-free and organized is that everything has a place or has a home and everything in its place. So if the item has a home, put it back where it belongs and don't just throw it in the junk drawer. And then, of course, you want to make sure you clear this junk drawer out on a regular basis, either when it's overflowing, but more ideally once a week or once a month. Don't wait too long. Many times when I help my clients, we find treasures in there that my client would have needed and forgot that it was just in the junk drawer. So do yourself a favor and clean it out once a week or once a month, depending on how much stuff you just throw in there. Okay, that is my permission slip for having a junk drawer. I hope you are a little bit relieved, if you are like me, that you don't have to be obsessively perfect. And as always, I will never tell you to get rid of anything. What I do help you see is the effects all that clutter has on you and your life and your business. So have a junk drawer and don't feel bad about it. Okay, my friend, that's it for today. Talk to you next time. Take good care and be safe. If you enjoyed this podcast episode and you want to go on a journey from chaos to peace in your home, office, and finances with me as your guide, opportunities to work with me one-on-one are available. Go to connygraf.com, CONNYGRAF.com to schedule your own personal Clutter to Clarity chat. And we will see if working together is a great fit. That is connygraf.com, CONNYGRAF.com.